We'll begin the news from the presidential villa, Abuja, where President Bola Tinubu met service chiefs, the Inspector General of Police and the Director General of the Department of State Services. First, he commended security forces for the rescue of 38 worshippers of Christ Apostolic Church, Eruku, Kwara State from the den of armed gunmen. The president also expressed happiness after 51 out of the missing students of the Catholic school in Niger State were recovered. President Tinubu further said, let me quote him, "I will not relent. Every Nigerian in every state has the right to safety, and under my watch, we will secure this nation and protect our people." End quote. He added that he is closely monitoring the security situation nationwide and receiving continuous updates from the front line. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has ordered the immediate withdrawal of police officers attached to VIPs across the country, directing that they return to core policing duties. The presidency insists that this decision is part of a phased security overhaul, prioritizing communities that have long been underserved. TVC News State House correspondent Femi Akonde reports.
A major shake-up in the nation's security architecture as President Bola Tinubu orders police officers guarding VIPs to return to real policing duties. The directive was issued during a high-level security meeting at the presidential villa on Sunday, attended by service chiefs and the Director General of the DSS. For years, thousands of police personnel have been deployed to protect individuals living many communities, especially in rural Nigeria, with almost no police presence. Now that is changing. Under the new directive, VIPs who still require security will have to rely on well-armed operatives from the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps.
We're all aware of what is happening around our country, and Mr. President, in his ways, has decided to summon all the security heads to the villa this Sunday evening to discuss this matter, because it is of utmost importance to Mr. President.
Nigerians would also hear very positive developments and news on this front. So all in all, there is cause for Nigerians to be upbeat that the Commander-in-Chief is sitting and is managing the situation, and positive results are coming on very gradually. And believe me, we have every reason to unite behind the government at this hour in Nigeria.
To strengthen manpower, President Bola Tinubu has also approved the recruitment of 30,000 additional police officers nationwide. The federal government says it is working with states to upgrade training facilities and modernize police operations.
Mr. President gave direct order that immediately policemen providing VIP protection should be made available to join the forces. The policemen providing VIP protection presently are to be withdrawn, and they are to complement the ongoing efforts against criminalities.
Presently, we are receiving very good positive news from that, from Kwara State, where the entire 38 people that were abducted have been reunited with their families. And progress is also made from Niger State, whereby we have 51 of those students that have now reunited with their families. For Kebbi State, efforts are also yielding positive results. Progress is being made substantially in that aspect. And all security forces are still deployed there, cordon of the whole general area, whereby we expect that we'll have some also news from that general area.
Also at the meeting were the Chief of the Air Staff, the Inspector General of Police, and the Director of the DSS, all committing to fast-tracking reforms aimed at restoring public confidence in the nation's security system. The presidency says the goal is simple: more police in communities, more boots on the ground, and a security system that prioritizes the Nigerian people. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
All right, our status correspondent Femi Akonde joins me live on the news at 10 now, of course, to throw more light on this. Femi, very pleased to see you this evening. Well, it's been a busy Sunday for the president. How significant is this directive to withdraw police officers from VIPs?
Hi, Ikechukwu. Well, I must say that this new directive would be taken very seriously, because we've also seen President Bola Tinubu busy in the past few days. Even today, we've seen him busy tweeting about his engagement on security issues, tackling Nigeria's security challenges, meeting with service chiefs. But we must state this clearly, that this is not the first time we're hearing this kind of directive for policemen to be withdrawn from VIPs. Let's not forget that President Muhammad Buhari, former President Muhammad Buhari, also gave this directive. But you know, there's a whole lot of political influence now that in most cases become the bottleneck in the implementation of this particular directive. It remains to be seen how this directive will be followed to the letter. Almost every Inspector General of Police has issued this kind of directives, withdrawing policemen from VIPs, closing checkpoints across the country. But there has been no political will to follow this through. But you know, there's a whole lot of optimism that this time, with this directive coming from President Bola Tinubu, we expect that in the coming days, where we do not know the timeline for the full implementation of this directive, but we expect that in the coming days we'll begin to see the withdrawal of policemen from VIPs, some people who are even not qualified to have police protection, including fraudsters in Nigeria now have police protection, and some communities are underserved without the presence of police officers, leaving them vulnerable to this kind of attacks we have seen recently, and we have been seeing in the country. But this directive coming from President Bola Tinubu, we expect will be far-reaching. We also know that the Chief of Defense Staff, you know, during the confirmation of the service chiefs, the newly appointed service chiefs at the Senate, also pointed out the need for police reforms. This is very important at this time, because it is clear that in the whole security architecture, one of the security agencies that appears to have clearly failed in carrying out its duty is the police. More than 100,000 police officers are attached to VIPs in the country. That is out of about less than 500 police officers we have in Nigeria. More than 100,000 attached to VIPs. And that tells you the gap we have in policing in the country. So it's expected that this will be implemented to the latter, Ikechukwu.
Absolutely, Femi Akonde. As a matter of fact, you responded to some of the questions that I wanted to ask. As you mentioned earlier, it's not the first time we're hearing an order like this, but hopefully, of course, this will be complied with, of course, to ensure that Nigeria and Nigerians are fully protected. Thank you very kindly, Femi.